All right, so today I want to talk about Meta's seamless voice API that they recently just released. So let's just get into it. To me, this was particularly interesting because it was kind of hard to get text to speech and speech to text working on like iOS. It's not too hard. I mean, you could do it in like React Native, or you could just use Swift or Objective C for iOS, or Android for or Java for Android. But anyways, to put them all together and get them working takes a little bit of effort. Also, to get the text to speech to really work well, especially with translations, a really popular one was Whisper. And lately, the thing that I've been thinking about was okay, so I have Private GPT, which is a large language model and open source version of OpenAI's ChatGPT. And, a couple months ago, I thought it'd be cool to get that working with voice. Recently, OpenAI just released voice, so it's now part of the OpenAI's API. And I think if you're like ChatGPT 4.5 Turbo, they've enabled voice and vision and open source GPTs as well. A lot of that stuff you used to have to do, like make your own or go on Hugging Face and explore what everybody else was doing. But anyways, let's check out what Meta is talking about with seamless communication. One second.
At Meta AI, we created a new foundational translation model. We call it Seamless M4T. The technology is multimodal. That means that it can understand language from speech or text and generate translations into either or both. It can also transcribe speech into text, and all with a single model. What's very exciting is that it's also massively multilingual. Right now, it supports translation into nearly 100 languages for text and 35 languages for speech.
So that sounds
Let's
pretty
take, for
awesome.
example, the phrase, "Our goal is to create a more connected world." If I say this in Spanish, nuestro objetivo es crear un mundo más conectado. Seamless M4T can translate this phrase into text for nearly 100 different languages. The model can also generate speech-to-speech translation for 35 languages.
Mục tiêu của chúng tôi là tạo ra một thế giới kết nối hơn.
Now, let's talk about code switching. Code switching happens when a multilingual speaker switches between languages while they are speaking. Our model Seamless M4T automatically recognizes and translates more than one language when mixed in the same sentence. As a multilingual speaker, this is a very exciting capability for me. I often switch from Hindi to Telugu when I speak with my dad. Notice in the following example when I change languages. मैं हिंदी, తెలుగు और अंग्रेजी में बोल सकती हूँ. కొన్నిసార్లు నేను ఒకే సంభాషణలో అన్ని మూడు భాషలను ఉపయోగిస్తాను.
I can speak Hindi, Telugu, and English. Sometimes I use all three languages in one conversation.
Now that's a big deal because, like I was saying before, you used to have to use like a variety of tools in order to achieve this. So to explain what I'm talking about, I set up a couple examples. Let's say I have Whisper. So here's my notes on how to install it. It's pretty easy, actually. It comes in one wrapper, so just pipe install Whisper, depending on your version of Python and OS. You're probably going to need FFmpeg, so Brew install FFmpeg. So I'm on a Mac OS X M1, so I'm using Brew. And then you might need Rust, so pipe install setup tools. And here's just a real quick sample of what the code looks like. It's just a import Whisper, import your model, in this case base, and then we're going to do a transcription. So you're going to point it to an audio in this case an MP3 file, but it could also take an MP4 file, which is video. And then here's how you would exercise it on the terminal if you didn't want to write code. So I'm just going to do that real quick. So I already went and downloaded The Sopranos from YouTube. Yeah, whatever. So I went and downloaded The Sopranos off of YouTube.
Jackie, you're the boss. Tell him to leave Conley Trucking alone.
Didn't know it was a Conley truck.
For 21 fucking years, Conley's been putting food on my table. Protection money.
Hey, Chris didn't know going in.
Bullshit.
You on my DVD player? You can watch Grumpy Old Men.
You're gonna be a fucking funny boy too now, huh?
Hey, you Sopranos.
But anyways, I'm just going to grab Whisper, and then I'm going to point it to the file I want to transcribe. So this is going to create a text-based output. It's going to give me like and in this case, it's going English to English. It does have language detection, so it doesn't necessarily need to, you don't have to specify what language you're trying to transcribe because it has transcription or translation abilities in it. If you wanted to specify what specific language you want to go to, you just add the -- language and then the target language, in this case, Japanese. So anyways, this is doing the ingesting here. It's going to take a minute, so I'll cut this piece out, and we're back. So anyways, as you can see, here's the text that it's already figured out. Jackie, you're the boss. Tell him to leave Comey Trucking alone. Didn't know it was a Comley Trucking for 21 fucking years. Pardon my French. Comley's been putting food on this table. Protection money. Hey, Chris, didn't you know going in? Bullshit. Anyways, maybe I should be better at reading a prompter or something. But anyways, as you can see, it's going through the MP4's audio wave or audio file, and it's detecting all the language that's in it and then trying to create a transcription. And here to the left, you see it's also giving you a timestamp. So at second 13 to second 17, here's the text that was spoken. So the output of this is going to produce like 4 or 5 files. One's just going to be a plain text file, which is just the text. Another one would be a time series stamp, so a TSS. So that's going to have the time series to the left plus the text on the right. Another one would be a JSON file, and I forget what the fourth one is. But if you ran the translation one, I think it does both. I think it'll produce the English and then also the Spanish. So like when you go to like Google's YouTube, when you upload a file, let's see if they also do transcription somewhere. Oh, this is a live one, so they're not doing the transcription yet. Download, save. Where does Google put the description? So that you could read all your files. This. Usually it's just an option. So anyways, YouTube, when you first do your upload, one of the things in addition to transcoding it to all the different file formats and resolutions, it also it transcribes the audio so that you can read everything, but it also timestamps it so that you can click around into wherever it happened. But yeah, normally they put it, they tuck it up in here somewhere. But like if you use YouTube's API, when you request a video to download or the share URL, you could also get the transcription, and that makes it much more searchable. But okay, so that's audio to text. So how do you go text back to audio? So I played with a couple Python libraries. Google has a text to speech API here. So I have some notes on how to use that. So that's just pipe install Google text to speech or TTS. Here's what the sample code looks like. But I'm just going to run it from a Python script. And then let's open that folder. And we should have, so just to show you what the file looks like. So here I put John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. and then I told it what file I wanted to go to in the beginning.mp3. And so here's the MP3 it created.
John chapter 1 verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
So yeah, anyways, that's cool. But then that creates like a big file management issue where you have to like save this file, transcode the file, save it somewhere, then send it back or stream it or something like that. If you use Google's cloud service or Amazon Web Services, they kind of have a service that basically does all this for you. But you're going to basically just open up your wallet and get prepared to pay. But you can easily, recreate something similar just with these handy dandy tools. There's also other services like 11labs.io. They do generative voice AI as well. And so you could just prompt it, say, we'll just use the same text. And it sounds better than the Google text-to-speech because Google text-to-speech is kind of robotic. So here what it's doing is going to take the text, it's going to generate
John 1:1.
It's going to generate an MP3 file, and then it's going to play it back to you.
John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
And it does the same thing that Whisper does, where you can convert the text into other languages. So let's try this in Spanish.
El que está mareado piensa que el mundo gira alrededor.
Let's try French.
Fais-toi simplement confiance, alors tu sauras comment vivre.
Or German.
Es gibt keinen größeren Schaden als den der vergeudeten Zeit.
And one more just for shits and giggles. How about Japanese?
一番大切なのは始めること。完璧を求めるよりも進むこと。
Okay, so that's all cool. But, so if I go to Seamless, my Whisper finally finished because that was a really long file. Let's just open the file folder. And here's all the files that it produced. From this MP4, it created all these files. And here you go. So here's a comment eliminated file. You could also open up that in Excel. There's also an Excel specific format. Where was I? I was trying to get this Seamless. Here in Seamless Communication, so I cloned the repo. I installed the Python dependencies. I had a slight issue using Conda as a virtual environment. And so I had to deactivate Conda and do Python direct. But anyways, that's just a quick Python or pipe install. And we're just going to install the requirements. Bang, got it. And then we're going to run the demo. App.py. And it's supposed to go set up a thing. Okay. So it's telling me that this is a gated repo on Hugging Face. And so I think I noted that. So to get around that, you have to go register with Hugging Face, your gated API, and then you have to go request access to it. And as long as they grant you access, I'm still waiting for access to run it locally, then they'll download the models and stuff onto your library here when it does its initial setup, and then it'll run it. I was able to run a couple Python libraries independently of this particular one, and this is what it sounded like. I had it run the same script. John 1:1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So here's an example.
John chapter 1 verse 1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
Now, they claim that you could programmatically add expression, so you can make it sound really excited or very subdued. You can even change the tonality, or you can even change the cadence. So I could speak really fast like this, or I could take my time and speak like this to make it more dramatic or something. So here are some of the examples that Seamless from Facebook or Meta put out. So let's take a look. Seamless Expressive AI translation. Seamless Expressive is an AI model that aims to preserve vocal style and interactivity. Step 1, record yourself. So English to French. Seamless Expressive is an AI model that aims to preserve vocal style and intricacies of speech.
Turn down the volume. The baby just fell asleep. Baisse le volume. Le bébé s'est endormi.
So now she's translated from a whisper sound in a whisper voice. Oh yeah, forgot to go to the... All right, so we're going to go from English to French. Let's try that out. So camera's loading. Can't really see me. So glad you're here. I'm so happy to see you. So they want me to try this in excited. So glad to see you. I am so happy to see you. Okay, expressive translation.
C'est si bon de te voir. Je suis si content de te voir.
Now, non-expressive translation.
C'est si bon de te voir. Je suis si content de te voir.
English. So glad to see you. I am so happy to see you. So I guess that kind of works. Let's see video. So glad to see you. I am so happy to see you.
C'est si bon de te voir. Je suis si content de te voir.
Okay, so it kind of does it, I suppose. I don't know. But anyways, I mean, that's pretty rad. And supposedly you can run this locally in there. They're giving you the tools and the code to actually go check all this stuff out. So if you go to Hugging Face, Seamless M4T, the demo is there. So you could take a file. Now it won't take the MP4 like the Sopranos that I had earlier, but you could try an MP3. So here is an MP3 file from Don't Wait for the Next War by General Wesley Clark. So you go upload the file, you select your language, English to French, and let's translate it.
This is Audible.
Blackstone Audio presents Don't Wait for the Next War, A Strategy for American Growth and Global Leadership by General Retired Wesley K. Clark.
Okay, so that's the actual audio file. Now it's translating it into French, and it's going speech to speech, so you don't have to do the whisper thing. You don't have to do the Google text-to-speech thing. It's just going to try to generate an audio file based off of the audio file you gave it. So as you can see, this is Audible. Blackstone Audio presents Don't Wait for the Next War, A Strategy for American Growth and Global Leadership by General Retired Wesley K. Clark. So there's your transcription in text. And here is the French translation of it.
This is Audible. Blackstone Audio presents Don't Wait for the Next War, A Strategy for American Growth and Global Leadership by General Retired Wesley K. Clark. This book is read by Donald Corr, and this book is dedicated to American veterans who have served both in war and in...
So it still sounds a little robotic. I was looking for some variables that you could go check out to try to change the cadence and all those sort of things. I haven't gotten that far. Yeah, so that's basically what I'm going over today. Let's see what else they say. An all-in-one system that performs multitask across speech and text.
Our goal is to create a more connected world.
Наша цель – создать более связанный мир.
Our goal is to create a more connected world.
So this is text-to-text translation. I guess the other one was speech-to-text. So that's pretty cool, guys. So OpenAI recently put out their voice one. OpenAI voice. Well, OpenAI is using Whisper, so I guess they integrated that in with something.
Okay, so let me walk you through the latest voice feature here that any Plus user should have. So here I am on my mobile app. You can see that. And I'm going to click the three dots, click Settings, and you'll see new features right here. And you'll see voice conversations. Turn that on so it's green like I have. You're going to go back, and then down here, you'll see speech. And you're going to get a number of options. I'll play a couple here for you.
Hey, I'm ready to hit the ground running. So if there's anything you'd like me to focus on first, just let me know.
Hello, I'm really excited about teaming up with you, and I'm all set to dive in. So how can I make your life easier?
I kind of like Sky, so we're going to go with Sky. And I'm going to show you how to do this. So you just tap up here.
Hey, I've got a 1-hour talk I'm going to be giving to a law school's faculty in a couple of weeks. And they really want, well, let me just start. Their awareness of generative AI is very fragmented. As you can imagine, some are probably experimenting with it, but most are probably tried it a couple of times. And there's probably a lot of misconceptions and myths and understandings around it. So they want me to come in and basically give them an up-to-date view, a look into the market, if you will, of how generative AI is being used throughout the entire legal market ecosystem. So inside law firms, big and small, in-house teams, other law schools, so on and so forth. And then I'm thinking they probably want me to give them some practical way to use that.
Of course. Crafting a catchy and relevant title for your talk is crucial to get the audience intrigued and engaged. Given your focus on updating the faculty on generative AI in the legal field and offering practical applications, how about a title like Decoding AI in Law: Myths, Realities, and Future Pathways? For the description, you could consider delve into the transformative world of generative AI as it sweeps the legal landscape.
Certainly solves the blank page problem for me.
Okay. So as you can see, now you can start talking to AI. So this is before the OpenAI firing the Sam Altman and the Microsoft poaching him, and then they fired the board and brought Sam back. Voice OpenAI. Let's see what he was saying about it.
You can bring.
By the way, the whole transcribing thing, that's how the subtitles closed caption works below as well.
And with our new text-to-speech model, you'll be able to generate incredibly natural sounding audio from text in the API with 6 preset voices to choose from.
By the way, that's a big thing. It doesn't sound robotic at all. Or it kind of does, but it's way better than it used to be.
Play an example.
Did you know that Alexander Graham Bell, the eminent inventor, was enchanted by the world of sounds? His ingenious mind led to the creation of the graphophone, which etched sounds onto wax, making voices whisper through time.
This is much more natural than anything else we've heard out there. Voice can make apps more natural to interact with and more accessible. It also unlocks a lot of...
Google CEO Sundar Pichai, Google Assistant, phone call. That was a big thing a few years. Jesus, that was 5 years ago. What have you been doing, Google? Why isn't that out? So here they're basically demonstrating Google Assistant voice, and it supposedly goes back and forth, but it's not as smart as GPT is, or even Google Bart today. But this was 5 years ago where they're demonstrating a lot of this ability.
Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd.
It turns out a big part of getting things done is making a phone call. We think AI can help with this problem. Let's say you want to ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen.
So how can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. Sure, what time are you looking for around? At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for? Just a woman's haircut for now. Okay, we have a 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. is fine. Okay, what's her first name? The first name is Lisa? Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd. Okay, great. Thanks. Great. Have a great day. Bye.
That was a real call you just heard. The amazing thing is the assistant can actually understand the nuances of conversation. We've been working on this technology for many years.
Yeah, so anyways, Google has that going on in speech, and now with Bart and stuff, they got AI behind it. They've had it all along, they were intentionally not putting it out right away. I would imagine Apple has something cooking to upgrade Siri sooner or later, or the reason why I thought all this stuff is relevant was, again, back to Private GPT. So I have a local server here with Private GPT running. So this is coming off my local host 8001, and you can upload the files. And like here, I uploaded the Bible. I uploaded my resume, and I could say stuff like, "Who is Joshua Lindsay?" ? And this is hitting my server here. It's running a large language model with Llama 2, I believe, or ChatGPT 4 All. Joshua Lindsay is a software engineering manager at WeWork in San Francisco. He has experience working on the intersection of art and technology. It even does hallucinations where you can say, pretend you are a character named Bejesus, who is a combination of Batman and Jesus. The Lord, the Way, the One, the Dark Knight. So now it's thinking about all that. As Jesus, I am a unique blend of Batman and Jesus Christ, embodying both the light and the darkness within me. I am the Lord, the Way, the One who seeks to protect and guide those in need. I am a symbol of hope and... Oh, Jesus. Can you be less wordy? Can you make that tweetable? Can you make that tweetable, i.e. under 240 characters? As Bejesus, I'm a unique blend of Batman, Jesus, embodying, hashtag Bejesus. Okay, cool. So it can do hallucinations or pretend stuff. This is all running on my local machine, so this isn't going up to OpenAI, therefore Microsoft. Who we know after the Twitter files will probably have backdoors into the NSA inference to go look at all your files. They do have enterprise versions where, if you were a large corporation, you could run it on your own servers if you're really worried about backdoors, but I'm sure there's a way for them to tunnel in anyways. But anyways, my point is that I would imagine Private GPT needs to add voice and vision to it. So I was thinking, like, if they used Seamless, Facebook Seamless, you could put that on top of Private GPT, and then you would have voice at least. There's other stuff like DALL-E and all the computer vision and generative AI stuff that you could add on top of that. But then, that basically begs the question. It's like, okay, if the open source gets good enough, can that compete with OpenAI? And if that's true, how much is OpenAI worth? I'm guessing that most people are not going to want to go through the trouble of compiling the source code and getting it all to work. They'd rather just use a service like OpenAI, but I'm sure there's a bunch of startups who would love to take different pieces of this and get off the cloud and get off because the bills for AWS is huge, or Google GCP or Microsoft Azure is huge. If you had your own infrastructure, then that kind of makes sense. If you're just a startup, you're probably just hooking into OpenAI and voice. Some VC guy was telling me about one of his investments that just came out of Y Combinator called Outset AI. And this is an example of what I'm seeing, where here's an AI moderated research platform. So instead of having some researcher on behalf of some company who just released a product, they want to get user feedback on their product, go out and conduct like 20 or 100 interviews of sample customers and say, doing like a customer survey and ask them a bunch, put the product in their hand, let them play with it, give them some instruction, and then ask questions about what do you think of the UI? How do you see, how can you use this in your daily work, or have you used this in your daily work? How did that go? But anyways, give it a set of questions in order to collect feedback. So anyways, supposedly you can just try it here. Come on, try it. Try it. Okay, start interview. Allow. Connecting to the interviewer. This may take up to 10 seconds. So anyways, now the customer can just log into the website.
Thanks for checking out Outset. Welcome to an AI-moderated interview. We'll ask a few questions about you and then add you to our waitlist. Ready to get started?
Let's do it.
Great. Where do you work right now?
I'm currently working on something for Lindsay Film.
That's interesting. Could you tell me more about something for Lindsay Film? Is it a company or a project within an organization?
It's an independent media outlet that creates documentaries and podcasts.
That sounds like a fascinating place to work. What is your role at Something for Lindsay Film?
Content creator.
Content creation is a crucial role. As a content creator at Something for Lindsay Film, what makes you interested in trying out Outset or any other AI-powered research tools?
I'm really curious how Outset is utilizing OpenAI and voice to conduct user research.
It's great to hear that you're curious about the technology behind Outset. Can you elaborate on how you think AI and voice technologies could enhance your research process as a content creator?
When I do a podcast and I interview people, there's a series of questions I'm normally asking them as a pre-interview.
That's a good point. How do you think AI-powered tools like Outset could assist you in conducting interviews for your podcasts?
I could send them to Outset to conduct the pre-interview so that I have the answers to the questions I need before I conduct the interview.
That's a very efficient use of the tool. Do you already have a survey or interview in mind that you would use to try out Outset?
So I have about 30,000 followers on LinkedIn, and every now and again I ask them a polling question about technology or layoffs or hiring activity. Can I use Outset as a poll on LinkedIn?
It's impressive that you engage with such a large audience on LinkedIn. While Outset is designed for interviews and surveys, it could potentially be adapted for polling purposes. Could you tell me more about what you aim to achieve with these polls and how you currently analyze the results?
A lot of times, some of the subjects I talk about is technology, employment, etc. And what I'm trying to do is compare what people on LinkedIn think about those subjects compared to what the news says.
That's a valuable approach to understanding public opinion. How do you envision Outset helping you compare LinkedIn users' thoughts with news perspectives? Would you use it to structure your questions or analyze responses in a certain way?
I would love to be able to ask the user a series of questions with an interactive embeddable widget that goes into LinkedIn as a post, and then get the responses back after the fact.
An interactive widget for LinkedIn posts sounds like a powerful tool for real-time engagement and data collection. What is the purpose of gathering these responses, and who would the results of this polling be for?
The content for the YouTube channel or the podcast.
That makes sense. You'd be using the insights from Outset to inform and enrich your content for listeners and viewers. How would you integrate the findings from these polls into your documentaries or podcasts?
If I could get a text version of the questions and answers, then I could take it to...
Could you clarify what you mean by getting a text? Are you referring to receiving the poll results in text format to use in your content creation process?
Get a text format of the questions asked and the answers given, then run that through ChatGPT to summarize the answers.
Thanks for your time. We've added you to the Outset waitlist.
Yeah, so as you can see, that's pretty cool. That's just a website that you could use to conduct polls. I thought it would be really cool for... there's this other thing called Twilio. So what Twilio does is it allows you to... Twilio demo, schedule a demo, view demo, videos. Twilio call center solution demo. So what this does is it can make phone calls programmatically. So Twilio does, so you just write your script, it makes an API call out to Twilio, and then either Twilio creates a robotic sounding voice thing. It's not very convincing, but if you used OpenAI's voice, or maybe possibly Seamless's voice, plus the fact that it can do translations and it can switch languages and stuff, what if you conducted a poll about the 2024 elections, asking people what their thoughts on the different subjects that are being covered in the debates, and then gather the information back and create content with it? Or, just conduct polls and surveys and get a general idea of what people are interested in. Maybe instead of talking about what the candidates are talking about, ask them what do they want to see or what's most important to them going forward. And then use the different AI tools to summarize, what was the most important subjects that were mentioned the most often. And Twilio can go make thousands of phone calls programmatically. So you don't need to hire like a small team of surveyors making hundreds or thousands of calls a day. You could just automate the whole thing. So I thought that would be really dope.
Hey everybody, Jeff Lawson, CEO of Twilio here. At Twilio, we have over 300,000 customers, and we power text messages, phone calls, and emails that help those companies connect with their customers and build great customer relationships. And with Twilio Segment, using all the data that customers give them across their web and mobile properties and every other system that has a piece of information about those customers, and turn it into insights by creating profiles of each and every customer. Over the past year, I'm sure you've seen what's now possible with artificial intelligence. How AI can generate language, write poems or code, and even reason through hard problems. So today, I'm excited to introduce you to Twilio Customer AI.
Yeah, so anyways. So that's what I've been thinking about. What do you guys think? I think it'd be cool to have like an AI, co-host, right? Where I have AI to talk to directly. Then I, kind of like how Joe Rogan, here's a supercut of Joe Rogan
jumping accident.
Joe Rogan, as he's talking to guests, he's like, "Hey Jamie, can you pull up this video? Hey Jamie, not this one. Hey, can you zoom it up?" So it's like having a producer, not necessarily a co-host. But I could see that another use case for users as the technology and the integration evolve, just like the Google one, where it could integrate directly into your calendar. So you just tell Google Assistant, go make me a haircut. It goes and conducts the haircut, and then based off of what time you have available in your calendar spots, then it adds it to the calendar with the reminder, and then you just show up. You could say, order me a pizza from Extreme Pizza, and then it does and makes the call, and then the pizza just shows up at your door. What if you had like a co-host? I mean, Google, Microsoft Visual Studio has Copilot for developers like myself to, analyze the code and, do more than just helpful hints, but like try to organize the code or find things faster or even write code. But what about for podcasters? This would be sweet.
I don't want to watch this.
But you can barely tell what happens.
Oh, dude, I can tell what happens. That's Fear Factor. Bro, that's just ridiculous.
Video, but
Jesus.
But anyways, in sum, those are my thoughts on seamless communication AI from Meta. I'm really impressed with what Meta was able to bundle all that up, because that seems like you're handing the OpenAI or the AI developer community tools to replicate what OpenAI has been doing. OpenAI has done a great job at taking a lot of these tools and doing their version of it, but it's nice to see some competition. But anyways, I think that's it for me today. Have a good day. Bye.
Don't forget to smash that subscribe button.
We are anonymous. We are legion. United as one. Divided by zero. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
No expression. Hide my head. I wanna drown my sorrow. No tomorrow. No tomorrow. And I find it kinda funny. I find it kinda sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I ever had. I find it hard to tell you. I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world. Large and open.